Yo, what's good, basketball heads? It's your boy Crush. Let's talk about the Boston Celtics versus the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler and Bam both choking the damn game away. So Jimmy Butler waited until 2 minutes remaining in the entire ball game to start playing ball. So the man was passive the entire game, the entire night. And with 2 minutes remaining, now playoff Jimmy want to show up. And he almost pulled it off, but it was too late. And on the final play, you allow Boston to get a putback. You allow a small guy on the team to get a putback. So now we're going to have game 7. And I just don't know how the Miami Heat are going to go up to Boston and win a game 7. It's going to be rocking in Boston. And Jimmy Butler has no one to blame but himself because the entire game he's passive. All the role players did their job. This is the one game where I can't say this role player didn't show up or this role player didn't show up. Everybody showed up. They did their jobs. But Jimmy Butler went on vacation until 2 minutes in the entire game. That's when he showed up and he almost pulled it off, but it was too late. Why would you wait that long to play ball? Be aggressive. If Jimmy Butler played half decent the entire night, they would have won. But he's passive the entire night. He's not looking to shoot. He's giving it to role players. He's not even looking at the basket. So I guess throughout the series, Boston won 2 games straight. So I guess they took his heart or something. I don't know. But playoff Jimmy was nowhere to be found. And then finally he showed up, but it was too late. It was too late. And now we have a game 7. Boston have a chance of making history. So Jimmy choked tonight. He showed up in the last 2 minutes. He almost pulled it off, but he choked. And Bam also choked. They both were horrific. So Bam and Jimmy shot terrible the entire game. They played terrible. Without the role players, it would have been a blowout. So luckily the role players came to play tonight. So imagine, the role players came to play and the stars didn't show up. So now we have a game 7. And I just don't know how Jimmy and Bam is going to go to Boston and close out in the game 7. This is going to be crazy. So these dudes won 3 games straight and then Boston won 3 games straight. So now it's a tied series. And I'm just disappointed in Jimmy, man. I am disappointed in Jimmy Butler. Like, why would you not be aggressive? If Jimmy was aggressive, that would change Boston's entire defense. Their whole schematic, basically. Which would also open up the court more for his teammates. But he's passive. He's not looking at the basket. He's not trying to shoot the ball. He don't want the ball. And he's acting like he's afraid to play basketball. What the hell is wrong with this dude? But he's always talking about he's not worried, blah, blah. You better be worried because if you lose game 7, the Celtics will be the only team in NBA playoff history to come back from an 0-3 deficit and win. No one has ever done that. It's 0 in 150 tries. So if the Celtics pull this off, they'll be the first and only team to ever do this. And you don't want no one making history on your watch. Man, I'm just disappointed in Bam and Jimmy, man. Disappointed in Bam and Jimmy. The only reason why Miami was still in the game was because of 3-point shots. They shot almost 50% from the 3, and Boston shot 20%. That is the only reason why they were still in the game. Beyond that, Jimmy was terrible. Bam was terrible. Everybody else played well. The role players did their jobs. Everybody showed up, man. This should have been a game Miami won. But Jimmy Butler and Bam, they went on vacation. Bam only scored 11 points. Come on. In a game 7, you can't score 11 points. And they still almost won. Jimmy had 24, but that was at the end. He scored about 9 to 11 points at the end. So he didn't play well. He played terrible. Bam played terrible. And they waited way too long. They could have won this game. The role players did their job. They showed up. They shot great from 3 once again. That's the main reason why it was a game. If it wasn't for Martin, Robinson, they would have been blown off the court. But Martin and Robinson kept hitting threes and keeping them in the game while Jimmy and Bam kept choking, and just choking. And eventually Jimmy, he lost his confidence and he wouldn't shoot. He wouldn't look at the basket. He was passing the ball to role players and he's acting like, he's afraid to shoot and play basketball. And through all that, they still had a chance to win the game. 3 seconds remaining. They're up by 1. All you got to do is box out so they can't get the rebound or a putback. And they failed to do that. And now it's a tied series going back to Boston. And I feared for the worst, man. I'm fearing for the worst because I don't know if Jimmy and Bam will be able to get it done in Boston. And this is one of the most disappointing things I've seen in a minute. You're up 3-0 on a team and now you're going to a game 7? What the heck? So you had 3 chances to win, just one game. 1 out of 3. All you got to do is win 1 game out of 3 and it's over. And they were unable to do that. And here we go. We're going back to Boston. Because Bam was on vacation. Jimmy was on vacation. Jimmy came back in the 4th with 2 minutes remaining. But you can't rest your hat on that. You got to play 48 minutes. Or even if you have a bad first half, a bad third quarter, whatever, you got to still be aggressive. You're going to have some bad games sometimes. This is the worst time to be having a bad shooting night or whatever. But you still got to be aggressive because if Jimmy's aggressive, it's going to open up the court. But no, Jimmy's going to be afraid, passive. He's going to rely on the role players to do what he's supposed to do. And it actually worked, but they were unable to box out. And here we go. And it's sad, man. But I'm not going to go through all the stats. They lost. We're going to see what happened in game 7. This is crazy. But as always, I holla. As always, we just talking basketball. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share, holla at your boy. It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about the game. I'ma say it. It's all about the game.